to use any fanatical ideologues anymore. We cut down on that last year, and it's worked. Used to be I'd go after folks who did not have rational arguments. I kind of pound them into pudding, and they were just spouting ideological nonsense. That happens on both the left and the right. But now I'm bored with that. I'm bored with it. I don't want to talk to people who are zombified, and I don't want to hear from them either. So you won't see them here. The guest does not answer the question directly, keeps coming back to left-right talking points. Guests not be invited back. We've told all of our contributors they must think about the subject in a fair and fact-based way. So you'll be seeing some new faces on The Factor, and I think the program will be better for it. Tip of the day. That's it for us tonight. Please check out the Fox News Factor website, differentfrombillO'Reilly.com. Also, we'd like you to spout about The Factor from anywhere in the world. O'Reilly at FoxNews.com, O'Reilly at FoxNews.com. Name and town if you wish to opine. Word of the day, do not be oppugnant. Ooh, the new one. Do not be oppugnant when writing to The Factor. Again, thanks for watching us tonight. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Please remember that the spin stops here. We're definitely looking out for you.
Well, good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson tonight. Just 3 days ago, in an interview with NBC, Congressman John Lewis of Georgia called Donald Trump illegitimate. Then he followed up by saying he won't attend the inauguration. Well, Trump responded with a series of bellicose tweets. The cable networks went wall to wall with their coverage of all this, and the rest is history, of course, and you've been watching it. This is a fight Democrats started, and they seem to enjoy it so far. Republicans seem to enjoy it too. But what's the greater point of all of this? Will attacks like the one from Congressman Lewis help the Democrats win elections going forward? And it's not an idle question, given that in the past 8 years under Barack Obama, the Democratic Party has lost more than 1,000 office holders nationwide. Joining us now is someone who wants to lead the Democrats into the future, former Fox contributor Jamu Green, who is running for DNC chair. Jamu, thanks for joining us tonight.
Good evening, Tucker.
So you were asked about this over the weekend on Fox and Friends, asked about Congressman Lewis's statement, and you described what happened in November as the alleged election. I think I'm quoting you exactly, the alleged election. By that, did you mean that it's an election that didn't actually take place, or that we should pretend didn't happen, or what did you mean? As someone who wants to lead the Democratic Party, what's your position on that?
Here's, I think, the position of not just Democrats or Republicans, just like I said that morning, Americans. Something happened in this election with Russia. Something happened that was so significant that the Democratic members of Congress that got that classified briefing stormed out of that room. And we may never know what that is if it stays classified, but we all have those questions. And to your opening, Tucker, I don't think anybody enjoys this. I don't think anybody likes this. This is an attack on our democracy. And Donald Trump had an opportunity after he was the president-elect to start to try to heal the wounds from the election. And instead, he chose to take us in a different direction and continue his type of just baseless attacks. But someone like John Lewis, who has the Navy deemed so respected and American that they named a ship after him, to see what Donald Trump is doing on Martin Luther King Day, no one is standing for it. Not Democrats, not Republicans, not anybody who cares about the future of this country.
So he's the one congressman out of 435 you're not allowed to attack. But
that's
my
not
question
what I
to you,
said.
though,
That's ridiculous.
my question to you is, though, if you're elected chair of the Democratic Party,
I intend to be.
And you intend to be. Your line to Democrats, when you go across the country to the Jefferson-Jackson dinner or whatever, you're going to say, we would have won that election if only Vladimir Putin, in ways we can't explain or be specific about, hadn't intervened.
No.
So your understanding is Hillary lost because of Putin. I think that's what you just said.
No, that's not what I said. And so don't put words in my mouth, Tucker. There are lots of things the Democratic Party needs to address. Certainly, we have to find better ways of communicating our issues in a way that are going to inspire communities to turn out for us. We have to make sure that we are defending our policies in the same way that Donald Trump was so effective as a communicator. We have to be able to do the same thing, and we will do it, and we'll win by telling the truth, which is the opposite of what we saw from the Republican in the race in 2016. But we have a lot of work
Okay,
to be done. We have to bring young people in. We have to make sure that the infrastructure of the party has the resources that they need. This is not just a one-issue situation, and so I'm not going to play a game and simplify it with you, Tucker.
I don't want you to simplify it. I want you to explain it because you're running for this. So the first thing you mentioned in that long litany was we need to get the communities out. Now, one community that did not come out for you is white voters. Hillary Clinton won 37% of the white vote. That's the lowest number any Democrat running for president has received in more than 30 years. So it's clearly a massive problem for her. Do you see that as a problem? And what would you do to rectify, to get white voters to vote Democrat again?
Well, I think that there were some strategic mistakes that were made as far as where we were going to communicate, what types of messages were going to be communicated. It's a campaign. I get it. I'm not going to, say that we need to throw the baby out with the bathwater. We need to make better decisions when it comes to how we tell the Democratic Party's story, and to make sure that whether you're a white working class voter or a low income African American voter or middle class working family, all of us, we are going to be harmed, drastically harmed by the policies that this administration is clearly intending to put in place.
So
and it is about communication, because they beat us at communication. That
so
we know.
Here's a famous and skilled communicator. Her name was Simone Sanders. She was, in fact, the spokeswoman for Bernie Sanders, kind of a big deal. And she said this, and I'm quoting, on CNN, in this November after the election, in my opinion, we don't need white people leading the Democratic Party right now. Do you agree with that?
Look, I think that it is great to have people like Simone's passion, and certainly the young voters that were attracted to Bernie Sanders. They are a part of the Democratic Party, and we need to find ways where everybody feels welcomed. I don't
But wait
agree
a second. I'm
with...
sorry. What do you think of that? We don't need white people leading the Democratic Party right now. Do you think she should have said that? Do you think that's an okay thing to say, and do you agree with it?
Well, clearly I'm in the race, Tucker, so I very specifically think we need to move Green leading the Democratic Party right now.
No, don't be silly. Answer the question.
That's where I
she
stand.
said
That's
we don't
why
need
I got
white
into the
people.
race.
Okay, but hold on. This is not a fringe person. This is Simone Sanders, who we don't need white people leading the party. Now, I don't even need to play the thought experiment. What would happen if someone on the Republican side said we don't need black people leading the Republican Party? That would be bad, and I would denounce it. Will you denounce that? Is that okay that she said that? And do you agree with her?
Look, just because we have the same hairstyle doesn't mean that I agree with everything that she says. And certainly I think you should have Simone on your show. Ask her. What we need are people who understand the Democratic Party from inside out.
I'm throwing
like
it up really slow for you to hit. I'm asking
I don't need you to talk slow to me, Tucker.
No, to throw it up slow, the pitch, so you can hit it. Do you think it's okay to say we don't need white people leading the Democratic Party? And I'm expecting you're going to say that's an appalling thing to say. You can't say that about an entire racial group. Go ahead.
It's not the right message that needs to be out there right now.
But is it wrong to say that? What do you mean not the right message? Is it a good thing to say, or is that an immoral thing? I mean, can you imagine saying that yourself?
It's not what I believe. It's not what I believe.
Okay.
So I don't know why I'm having a conversation with you about what another African American woman said.
Well, I explained it to you at the beginning.
We don't all think and say the same things.
Of course, I'm not suggesting that. Hillary Clinton, who's not an African American woman, said in April during the campaign, she said, and I think I'm quoting her, we need to recognize white people, our own privilege, and practice humility. And I thought, well, that's sort of a big generalization. Do you think unemployed machinists in Ohio need to recognize their privilege, or the children of OxyContin addicts in Appalachia need to recognize their privilege? I mean, what do you think?
Tucker,
is there a reason white voters abandoning the Democratic Party because maybe they feel attacked by things like that? Is that a crazy thing to say?
Look, Tucker, you're a really smart man, and you understand.
I'm asking obvious questions.
You understand nuance and communication, and you do a lot of critical thinking. Trying to boil that statement down into something that is an attack on a voter in a certain state, that's just ridiculous. I'm tired of these types of conversations, and
really,
quite frankly,
I'm quoting Hillary Clinton here. I'm not saying taking that out of context. This is a real conversation.
This is what makes people opt out of politics,
question.
and part of why we lost is because people weren't inspired. They were disgusted. They were disgusted by the discussion in the 2016 election.
So my asking what Hillary Clinton meant when she said that in public is, quote, part of the reason people are opting out of politics? I'm quoting a candidate you supported and asking you to comment on what she said. And you're accusing me of being divisive. Is that what you're doing?
Do you think you're divisive, Tucker? Do you think you're
I'm asking you,
Which
I'm
side of it
asking
are
you
on?
if that's a fair thing to say. And my own view,
It
as you
is-
can probably tell from my tone, is that's an awful thing to say
It is
about people based on
absolutely
their skin
fair
color.
to acknowledge that there are issues of white privilege out there that concern very specific communities, and they're based in reality. But it is also absolutely fair and something that I think Democrats understand about the pain that all Americans are going through. But I'm not going to sit here and have this conversation that conservatives, Republicans want the Democratic Party to be having and to divide us in this way.
Oh, no,
because
no.
actually, we are united. We are united in what we need from
Then
an
why did she
economic
get
fairness standpoint.
37%?
We are united in what
Okay.
we need to protect women's rights, which are coming under attack before
Okay,
this
now you're getting
administration
into the
even
talking
takes
points. So let's get
step into
specific.
the White House. We
Okay.
are united. I'm not going to let you divide us
Okay.
along those lines because it's not as simple as that, and quite frankly,
Actually-
it's not as stupid as that.
I was quoting Hillary Clinton and asking you what you thought of it, and you started calling me names. And I'm merely trying to
didn't
get
call
your
you
view,
names.
but you retreated immediately into talking points. So let me get specific
Don't
again and
be
see if you
so
can handle.
sensitive,
Let me
Tucker.
see if you
Come
can
on.
respond.
You've got
if you
thick
can
skin.
respond. If you can respond to this one. So you're saying you're looking for an economic message that speaks to the needs of the middle class and of working people of all colors, and I applaud you for attempting to find that message. So for 8 years, President Obama has been telling us he wants to lower drug prices because they're too high, right? And that was part of the purpose of Obamacare, but it didn't work, as you know. They're still too high, right? Right. A very fast way to do that would be to re-import drugs from Canada. Donald Trump is calling for this. Why in 8 years did Barack Obama not call for that?
Barack Obama called for so many fixes to Obamacare.
No, that's
and
not
you
to Obamacare.
you understand what Republicans did when that man was first inaugurated. They said on day one they were going to obstruct, and they successfully did in many ways. He and the administration were very clear. There are lots of things we need to still fix with health care. There are lots of problems.
What about re-importing
with
drugs at a cheaper
prices.
price from Canada?
But if you don't have
Why wouldn't he
somebody
be for that?
in Congress, if you don't have any leadership on the other side who understands they need to put the American people first instead of trying to destroy
Jamu.
government because they
Jamu, this
didn't
is
like
silly.
Barack Obama.
This is silly.
That is what is wrong.
Come
That
on,
is what keeps people
above this.
disenfranchised.
Look, I don't want to relitigate it, but if you're going to generalizations that aren't true, Democrats held all three branches
Untrue?
of government when Obama
Untrue?
came into office. Look,
Come on,
I'm just
Tucker.
asking. Here you have Donald.
That's transparently false.
Here you have
the
Donald
obstruction
Trump.
that the Republican
Okay, I know the
Party did
Republicans
to
are bad,
fixing
and I'm not defending
Obamacare,
them.
to making sure that we could continue to get
But
health
can you just
care in
answer
this
the
country
question, or are you
better
just going to pass on it?
was abysmal.
Do you know
And
what it is?
If you deny it,
Do you know what the
deny it, that's
I'm
on
not
you. That's on
I'm
you.
not
You and your
I'm not
therapist can
stop
talk about
for 1
that.
sec. I'm not denying that Republicans tried to stop Barack Obama's agenda, and sometimes it was justified and others it wasn't. But I'm
Most
asking
of
in
the
this
time,
very
all of
that's
the
fine.
time,
I'm asking you a
unjustified.
very specific question, and I'm asking you, do you agree with Donald Trump's plan to re-import drugs at a lower price from Canada? American drugs have been sold in Canada at a lower price, bringing them back. The pharmaceutical companies are against it. Obama did not push for it. Trump is now pushing for it. What's your response to that? Are you for that or against it? Simple question.
I haven't seen the exact plan you're talking about, so I'm not going to play this gotcha game. I'm not going to sit
not a
here and
gotcha game. I'm just saying, are you for the
somebody
idea or
who
not?
is refusing to even celebrate Martin Luther King Day and understand that
Why do
he
you
is.
always bring it back to race? I'm asking
That's
you
where
about
this
economics.
segment started, Tucker. You're the one who picked the topic. I didn't.
I'm asking you about health care. I'm asking you about lowering drug prices. And Trump, look, I'm not endorsing everything Trump does. I'm just saying here he's doing something that overlaps with what Democrats have wanted to do for a long time, decades. And he's saying, yeah, let's do it. And I'm asking you, are you for it or not? Are you so partisan that you can't just say, yeah, I don't like Trump, but that's a good idea? But
know
you
what?
can't. Can you?
I am the last person that is going to cheerlead some small little one-off from Donald Trump, because I am looking at the bigger picture of what this man is about to do to this country and
Well, how about the little
responding
picture? How
to
about
the
drug
waves of
reimportation?
people who are
Okay.
terrified, who are fearful, the women who are marching the day
Okay.
after the inauguration, and the men who are joining them because
This is
they
pretty
understand
thin, Jamu. This
we
is
have
not
to
very
resist.
impressive, I
We
have
have
to
to
say.
resist.
All right,
Well,
good luck with that. Thanks for
right
joining
back
us.
at you, my friend.
I appreciate it. Well, we're less than 100 hours away from Donald Trump becoming the president of the United States. He spent one of his last days as a private citizen at Trump Tower in Manhattan, where he met with Martin Luther King III to talk about civil rights. Fox News reporter Peter Ducey is with us live from Trump Tower tonight. Hey, Peter.
Hey, Tucker, that's right. By the end of the week, the president-elect will live at the White House, but this afternoon he took the golden elevators down to see Martin Luther King third off. It was the third off, I should say. It was the only time that we saw Mr. Trump today, but his guest, who was here to talk about his dad, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy, came over to microphones to tell reporters what he thinks his dad, Dr. King's message for Mr. Trump would be. And notice when you listen to this that he seems more concerned with big issues than things said in interviews or on social media.
I think my father would be very concerned about the fact that there are 50 or 60 million people living in poverty, and somehow we've got to create the climate for all boats to be lifted. In America, with a multi-trillion-dollar economy, $20 trillion almost, it's insanity that we have poor people in this nation. That's unacceptable.
Meanwhile, the CIA director continues to be involved with something a spy chief wouldn't normally be involved with, and that's a very public dispute. But John Brennan says that he thinks the president-elect needs to be careful what he says about Russia and what he does with Russia, and the president-elect does not appreciate that advice. In fact, Mr. Trump is now raising the possibility that Langley could have leaked the unverified document misidentified as an intel report last week. So the first part of Mr. Trump's latest attack is a Fox News headline that reads this: outgoing CIA chief John Brennan blasts Pres-elect Trump on Russia threat, does not fully understand. The president-elect then added this: oh really, couldn't do much worse, just look at Syria, red line, Crimea, Ukraine, and the buildup of Russian nukes. Not good. Was this the leaker of fake news? And the incoming press secretary, Sean Spicer, said today that the president-elect or the president should be able to trust the CIA director, but that after Brennan's public warning, Spicer isn't so sure that Brennan understands Mr. Trump's grasp of the Russia issue and of geopolitical issues overseas. Tucker?
Peter Ducey reporting for us live at Trump Tower Manhattan. Thanks, Peter. Well, it's time now for our Twitter storm. That's the nightly forecast of social media's most powerful weather patterns. Well, Rosie O'Donnell made a novel political suggestion yesterday. She tweeted this: Senator John McCain for emergency interim president. 1 month inauguration pause. Illegitimate president should not be sworn in. God damn it, she said, quote. Well, Aaron Crow responded this way: do you realize that what you're calling for is civil war? Your tweet is dangerous and sad. Brian Davis wrote, I'd like to personally thank you for picking the next president all by yourself. Not. Take a Valium, lady. Milo Dog Boss tweeted, oh yeah, that's in the Constitution. Rosie picks random interim POTUS. View from here said, leave God out of it and move to Canada like you said you would. Stop the all caps too. Your screaming is really annoying. Pete Turner wrote, Rosie, I stay hydrated on your tears. And that's tonight's Twitter storm. Up next, Howard Kurtz joins us to talk about the most egregious cases of dumbness in the media this past week. And of course, there are a lot of them. And then Brett Baer joins us in the friend zone to discuss Donald Trump's imminent ascension to the presidency. All that and a whole lot more.
This program is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Liberty stands with you.
You totaled your brand new car. Nobody's hurt, but there will still be pain. It comes when your insurance company says they'll only pay 3/4 of what it takes to replace it. What are you supposed to do, drive 3/4 of a car? Now, if you had Liberty Mutual new car replacement, you'd get your whole car back. I guess they don't want you driving around on 3 wheels. Smart.
With Liberty Mutual new car replacement, we'll replace the full value of your car. Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
La Quinta presents How to Win at Business. Step 1. Point decisively with the arm of your glasses. Abracadabra, the stage is yours. Step 2. Choose La Quinta, the only hotel where you can redeem loyalty points for a free night instantly and win at business.
I lost this much weight on Jenny Craig.
Call now and lose 20 pounds for $20. Jenny Craig offers you a dedicated personal consultant and delicious food for real results. Call now and get $50 in free food. Hurry, this offer won't last long.
You found the love of your dreams, and together, you had the kid of your dreams. Now you can put them in the car of your dreams for a lot less than you might think. With a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz, you can enjoy legendary safety, innovation, and performance at a price you can afford. And that's a pretty sweet dream. Visit the certified pre-owned sales event now through February 28th, only at your authorized dealer. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
AT&T offers all your live channels and DVR on your devices data-free. It's entertainment your way.
Fox News Channel on Sirius XM. Your favorite shows on Channel 114. Plus every story, every 15 minutes. Fox News headlines 24/7. Channel 115.
A good enough dinner.
Hey, should I heat up some nuggets for you?
Isn't good or enough.
No, it's a plated night.
Yes.
So let's plan for great. We'll start with Plated.com. Plated delivers everything you need to cook great dinners at home. Whether you're a food-loving family or an adventurous duo, all the shopping and measuring is done for you. So all you do is follow the simple step-by-step recipes. Each week, you get to choose from fresh takes on classic dishes to culinary creations you never dreamed you could make, including dessert. So gather around the table and enjoy seasonally inspired dinners. It's fun. It's easy. Otherwise, it wouldn't be great. Go to Plated.com now and get $30 off your first Plated night. Our gift just for trying Plated. Plated nights will be your greatest nights. Plan on getting $30 off at Plated.com. Don't settle for good. Plan for great.
Well, I like those graphics. Time now for news abuse, where we expose the most abominable cases of malpractice in the American press. We're joined by our old friend and an expert on this subject, Howard Kurtz. He's, of course, the host of Sunday morning's Media Buzz program, which we never miss. Howie, great to see you.
Great to be here.
So you got, I mean, there's so many possible
I had to narrow it down for you, Tucker.
What'd you get?
Okay, Kellyanne Conway, Donald Trump's White House counselor, probably his chief defender on TV, drawing a lot of very personal flack for her role. New York Times columnist Frank Bruni writes of the dark magic of this right-wing operative. And Carl Bernstein, the former Watergate sleuth, had this to say on CNN.
One of the great anonymous sources of our era is Kellyanne Conway. She does it every day. She has been an anonymous source for the last 10 months, particularly during this campaign when it suits her. And it's time to talk about what we do as journalists and what propaganda ministers do.
And Bernstein says she is a propaganda minister.
I love the fact that Carl Bernstein is decrying anonymous sources. The man who wrote the Watergate series is saying, you know what, I just don't like when people speak on background. It just makes me uncomfortable. They meet me in parking garages at night and tell me stuff. I'm against that.
Yeah, I'm totally made my whole career.
It's unbelievable.
But also, I mean, every operative aide, advisor from every campaign, Democrat, Republican, they all speak to reporters off the record, and they spin and they deflect and they defend. That's what they do. So why single out Kellyanne Conway as a propaganda minister, unless maybe you don't like her and she's a former Republican?
Well, sure, and plus, I mean, that they're all paid liars, but I think she's much more charming than most, my view.
All right, so now, number two, we have, you talked about the John Lewis story. It was on Friday that MSNBC aired that clip of the congressman saying he doesn't regard Donald Trump as a legitimate president. And on Saturday, New York Times, Washington Post had nothing, zero, not a word about this attack because I guess illegitimate president didn't seem like that big a deal. Now, of course, after Trump counterattacks and criticizes John Lewis, it's the lead story in the New York Times.
Wait, so they never covered it the first time?
No, I went through the papers, nothing in there.
Because but there was no predicate. Well, so the headline, you sent this, Matt, I just love it. Trump sets off a backlash with attack on civil rights icon. Not on elected official or congressman or politician, but civil rights icon. He's the one, and he is a civil rights icon, but he was acting not in his capacity as such, but as a member of Congress. So can't you call him that?
The print edition says blacks perceive a callous rival in Trump. So, you know, look, we can certainly debate whether Donald Trump goes too far, when he goes after whether it's John Lewis or Alec Baldwin or Meryl Streep, right? But when you pick up the story sort of at round two, after the guy's been attacked, and you make his counterattack, his counterpunch the story, that seems a little unbalanced.
With no predicate at all.
Yeah, and by the way, if a veteran Republican congressman had said, I don't consider Barack Obama in 2009 to be the legitimate president, do you think it would have taken more than a day for the papers to go crazy?
Probably not.
All right. Now, this is the worst one of all, in my view, because Jeff Sessions, at his Senate confirmation hearing as Attorney General, brought his extended family, very common thing for nominees to do. Ira Madison III, he's an MTV writer, tweeted the following, and put it up on the screen. Sessions, sir, kindly return this Asian baby to the Toys R Us store you stole her from. Another tweet, he said, why is she a prop? This is the senator's young granddaughter.
Yeah.
She's a prop because he doesn't like Sessions' positions politically.
What's so creepy is that he saw her as an Asian baby rather than just a baby.
Rather than just a baby, right.
Right, it's a baby.
Yeah.
And a cute baby, actually.
Took the guy, very cute baby. Took the guy 2 days to apologize, and MTV didn't do anything to him, because this is just, I guess, in that crowd. Well, fine, we'll just take a shot at the family. That seems fair, doesn't it?
Wait, they didn't even censure him or
They just said, well,
him?
he speaks for himself. No action whatsoever. And a couple days later, he did say, perhaps he had gone too far. And I mean, we talk about not bringing the kids of politicians into it. How about young grandchildren? It's just so below the belt.
Are you saying, since you cover this every day, news organizations institute policies where they rein in tweets from their employees?
Well, there ought to be some standards if you're not going to kind of spew hatred, and that's what I think this is.
And there are a lot of examples of this, but are you seeing, like, the New York Times, Washington Post, MTV say you can't tweet?
No, nobody says you can't tweet, but you aren't supposed to do, especially if you cover politics, you aren't supposed to say things on Twitter that show you to be completely, totally biased. There's a lot of snark, and we could talk about that in a future segment, but this one I just thought, bringing in the grandchild, come on.
It's ridiculous. Howard Kurtz, host of Media Buzz.
Good to see you.
Very great to see you. Thanks a lot. Well, Bob Beckel is back. In case you missed it at 5, our old friend rejoined the 5 today after an absence of nearly 2 years. You can catch him weeknights, 5 p.m. Eastern. Here's a highlight from his first day back.
I'll tell you something. I woke up, I had 3 back operations, right? So I wake up out of the fog, they give you the anesthesia. And I had this horrible dream that Donald Trump got elected. And then I woke up and I said, it's true.
I brought something for you on that note. We can put this on your, in the break, we'll put it on your suspenders.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we brought you back here just to rub that in, just so you know.
Man, I worked with Beckel 20 years ago at another network. Good guy. Great to have you back, Bob. Well, up ahead, former Black Panther Mason Weaver once hated whites so much he dumped his girlfriend for the crime of having a white dog. Well, now he's blasting John Lewis for his anti-Trump boycott. He joins us next to explain.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
You gotta be ready.
I mean, really ready. Are you ready to open? Ready to compete?
Ready to welcome?
The floors, mats, spotless. The uniforms, clean and crisp.
Do your people have the right safety gear? Are they protected?
I'm ready! You think your customers can't tell the difference between who's ready and who's not?
Of course they do.
I'm ready for you. Everybody wants a piece of ready.
Cintas, ready for the workday.
Introducing Lean 13 from Nutrisystem. Lose up to 13 pounds in your first month, guaranteed.
Lose up to 13 pounds fast with the new Lean 13 from Nutrisystem.
Your 13 can turn into 20, 30, 50, even more. I'm Marie and I lost 50 pounds on Nutrisystem. You'll see results right away. Count, measure, meetings? No, not with Nutrisystem.
Order your 28-day plan right now and we'll rush you Lean 13. Get specially designed meals, plus 1 week of new NutriCrush bars to crush cravings free. And 1 week of Turbo Shakes to bust belly bloat free.
Bye-bye, stubborn belly fat.
Call or go online in the next 2 minutes and we'll even throw in FedEx shipping free. Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches overall your first month.
Your first 13 pounds? Gone.
Go online or call 888-828-THIN right now and get new Lean 13 with bars and shakes free.
Pain does not care about your plans. Arthritis doesn't care about your garden or your motorcycle ride. Pain doesn't care how young you feel right now. Don't let pain stop you from living your life. Use Australian Dream for arthritis. It's not greasy, there's no odor, and only Australian Dream has a money-back empty jar guarantee. So don't let arthritis slow you down. Get Australian Dream.
I had cracked teeth, crowns. My teeth were really, really bad. I started hearing about dental implant surgery. When I researched and saw what Clear Choice could do, I thought, maybe this is for me.
All the specialists with all the technology they need are in one spot. We can put new teeth in 1 day.
Call today for your free consultation. We'll walk you through the entire procedure, including costs.
It just makes you feel good.
At Clear Choice, you're about to discover what you've been missing all these years. Call Clear Choice today.
I'm Jillian Michaels, and this is the all-new incline trainer from Nordic Track, a revolutionary treadmill that brings a personal coach into your home.
Go a little bit further.
It's like having a boutique fitness club in my home.
The coach controls my incline trainer live during the workout.
All the time I'm feeling my treadmill declining, inclining automatically.
This is how you burn 5 times more calories, and all you're doing is walking. The motivation you need for the results you want with the best trainers on earth. Only at NordicTrack.com.
Every home repair or improvement project should start with a pro you know you can trust. That's why for over 15 years, homeowners have trusted HomeAdvisor to find only the best home pros. It's a totally free service that instantly connects you with top-rated pros who have passed criminal and financial background checks. In fact, HomeAdvisor is the nation's #1 network of pre-screened pros and has been used by more than 30 million homeowners. So start every job with confidence at HomeAdvisor.com.
Well, Congressman John Lewis of Georgia is being cast as the undisputed champion of Black America, standing in opposition to Donald Trump on behalf of all African Americans. But Lewis does not speak for all African Americans. Mason Weaver used to be a Black Panther, for example. He now says Lewis is a, quote, civil rights turncoat who's collaborating with the Democratic Party to oppress Black America. Mr. Weaver joins us now to explain what he means. Mr. Weaver, thanks for joining us tonight.
My pleasure. Really, my pleasure.
So what did you mean by that?
Well, you know, in the early 70s and late 60s, we were demonstrating and protesting for the right to compete as adult citizens in America. We were not demonstrating to be taken care of better. Now, Congressman Lewis, he marched across the Pettus Bridge, and they beat him and ran over him. But those were Democrats. It was Democrats. George Wallace stood in the schoolhouse yard. It was Democrats, Bull Connors, that oppressed folks. It was Democrats that voted for the litmus test called the literacy test and the poll tax. He was fighting Democrats. But after they beat his behind on that bridge and ran over him and stomped him in the ground, he got up and turned and joined them. He joined the oppressors and became a stooge for them, where he was now sitting and presiding over the destruction of the Black community, the destruction of the Black men, destruction of the Black woman with drugs and gangs. He has presided over the worst school system in the world, where Black people are learning only to be gang prep. So I'm outraged that the demonstration that he had early in his life has turned into a subjugation of his rights and authority as a Black leader.
So when you say he's presided over, are you speaking of his congressional district?
Not just his congressional district, but the Congressional Communist Black Caucus that has every district they own and control is a ghetto hellhole. It's a place that no one wants to go to. They're in control of every inner city school system, every inner city police, every inner city jail. They have produced nothing but drugs and misery. Black-owned businesses, Black-owned housing has been reduced. They have presided over the destruction of Black people. They should be ashamed of themselves, and I don't understand why any Black person could be a Democrat.
Huh. Interesting. So you believe that John Lewis, when he gets up and says anything, is already discredited because of what he's failed to do since the civil rights era?
He has done nothing. John Lewis, bless his heart, it took courage to do what he did in early life. But what he has done now, he has turned himself to his enemy, like a little girl being beaten by daddy and joins daddy, like an abused woman beaten by her husband, she joins the husband. He has joined the enemy. He has joined the oppressor. And what he should do, if you're a real man, John Lewis, if you're a real hero, you stand up tomorrow morning and you look at the American people and you apologize. You have led them through decades of hell. You should apologize, say you made a mistake, say that you tried to work with them, but the Democratic Party has always been the party of abuse, always been the party of the Klan, the party that went to war to keep slaves, the party that's always been the destruction of Black people. Mr. Lewis, you have presided over the destruction of Black America, and you owe us an apology. And matter of fact, you're more concerned, he's more concerned about Trump being the illegitimate president, but John Lewis is the illegitimate congressman.
So presumably you don't believe that John Lewis is doing this on purpose, or that other members of the Congressional Black Caucus are doing this on purpose, do you?
That's why I love you so much, Tucker. You're so kind. You're so genuine. But I know that you hate BS. So I'm going to tell you, all I've seen that he has gotten rich, his people have gotten poor. The Black Caucus has gotten more power and influence, and the black people that preside over has gotten poor. More drugs, more gangs, less business, less home ownership, less education, more jail, more drugs. Now, if you did that in your job, you'll be fired. If you did that in any place else, you'll be fired. The worse black people are, the poorer we are, the stronger the Congressional Black Caucus is, the more powerful Democrats are, the worse off black people are. So I'm just saying, as a citizen of America, looking around my country, I'm saying that every place you find black people and Democrats, you find poverty. Now, wait for someone to say where I'm wrong. You find disgrace, you find degradation, you find no jobs, you find a place that is utterly unlivable. That's his legacy.
Huh. Mason Weaver, not a mincer of words. Thanks for joining us tonight with your perspective.
Stay right.
Appreciate it.
Stay right. We got to just stay right. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, up next, a former CIA officer is about to wind up in an Italian prison, maybe within hours of right now, and the Obama administration is doing nothing to save her. That's not an exaggeration. She's going to join us in just a minute from Portugal. She's about to be extradited to explain what's happening. And then Brett Baird joins us in the Friend Zone with a preview of the inauguration.
Friday, after the inauguration ceremony, the historic night is just getting started. First, the Five gives us their take on all the big events. Then Brett Baird weighs the Beltway reaction. Martha McCallum breaks down President Trump's first 100 days. And Bill O'Reilly gives us his no-spin take. Plus, the inaugural balls. Tucker Carlson is live covering the events. And Sean Hannity wraps up the night. The most watched, most trusted coverage of Inauguration Day is right here on Fox News Channel.
Direct from our imagination. The Civic. Get a great deal on KBB.com's best overall buy for 2017.
If you have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, isn't it time to let the real you shine through? Introducing Otezla, a Premolast. Otezla is not an injection or a cream. It's a pill that treats plaque psoriasis differently. Some people who took Otezla saw 75% clearer skin after 4 months. And Otezla's prescribing information has no requirement for routine lab monitoring. Don't take Otezla if you are allergic to any of its ingredients. Otezla may increase the risk of depression. Tell your doctor if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts, or if these feelings develop. Some people taking Otezla reported weight loss. Your doctor should monitor your weight and may stop treatment. Side effects may include diarrhea, nausea, upper respiratory tract infection, and headache. Tell your doctor about all the medicines you take and if you're pregnant or planning to be. Ask your dermatologist about Otezla today. Otezla. Show more of you.
My bladder wake me up from my sweet dreams, thanks to Tenor Not Tonight. Only Tenor overnight underwear with its secure barrier system gives you triple protection from leaks, odor, and moisture. Tenor lets you be you.
This is Jim. He's a proud hotel owner, but Jim is frustrated because his beautiful room is not being booked on his website. To cut his losses, he offers it on a popular travel website and a discount website for a reduced price. Why should you care? Because his room is now on 3 different websites for 3 different prices. But on Trivago, you find all of these prices on one site. That's how Trivago finds your ideal hotel for the best price. Hotel Trivago.
If you drive a personal car for work and don't track your business miles, you could be losing thousands of dollars, unless you have MileIQ. It's the app that automatically detects and logs all of your business miles so you get a great deduction or reimbursement. MileIQ provides comprehensive reporting that shows you how much you save with each drive. The average MileIQ subscriber deducts $547 a month. That's more than $6,500 a year. So take control. Download it for free and join the millions of drivers who trust MileIQ.
I've wondered what I would do when I got to this stage of my life, and now here I am.
I always helped people close to me, and now it's my turn. Visiting Angels caregivers have been able to assist me with my needs. Caring, attentive, and compassionate personal care, and I couldn't be happier.
Visiting Angels, America's choice in home care.
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
My heart beats 100,000 times a day, sending oxygen to my muscles. Again! So I can lift even the most demanding weights.
Take care of all your most important parts with Centrum. Now verified non-GMO and gluten-free.
Well, it's hard to believe this next story is true, but it is. We checked. In just a few hours, an American who loyally served her country is scheduled to be shipped to Italy to go to prison. Sabrina D'Souza is a former State Department employee who also served as an undercover CIA officer. Well, that got her in trouble with Italian authorities several years ago, who accused her of assisting in the kidnapping of a radical Islamic cleric called Abu Ammar. Italy, the nation that once jailed seismologists for not predicting an earthquake, and they actually did that, has handled D'Souza very roughly. She was convicted of kidnapping in absentia without being present to defend herself, and now she faces imminent extradition from Portugal to serve a 4-year prison sentence in Italy. President Obama has granted, meanwhile, 148 pardons and commuted 1,176 sentences, mostly for drug offenses. But so far, he's done nothing at all that we know of to assist D'Souza, who served this country. Well, D'Souza joins us now via Skype from Portugal, where it's close to 3 a.m. Thank you for coming on tonight. I appreciate it. Is there anything about the intro that I just read that is false? You are right on the cusp of being extradited. Is that correct?
That's correct. Starting tomorrow, I have no idea what's going to happen and the conditions under which I'll be once I get to Italy.
It's horrifying. And considering you've already been convicted in absentia, it doesn't look good and you're facing a prison term. So this all stems from the kidnapping last decade of this man, Abu Ammar. Now, you were skiing with your son on a ski vacation, a school holiday, when the kidnapping took place. But that decision was not made by you in any case, was it?
Oh, absolutely not. And none of us had any input into the decision. The narrative at the time was Abu Ammar was a dangerous terrorist and had to be taken off the streets of Milan. As it turned out, a year after he was in Egypt, where he was transported, he was set free for lack of prosecutable evidence against him.
So you've been convicted in an Italian court for this, but your supervisors who made that decision back in Washington or Langley or back in the United States are free to travel to Europe. They've not been convicted. Is that correct?
That's correct. And the reason we have state secrets and GLOMAR and all of this is to make sure that they remain that way.
Yes. So the Obama administration, Fox reached out to the State Department to ask, what are you doing to help your former employee? And they said this, quote, the Department of State takes its obligation to assist U.S. citizens overseas seriously. And yet it doesn't seem like they're taking your case seriously at all, are they?
Well, the most they've done, the U.S. Embassy in Portugal reached out to me to process me for this extradition, make sure my travel documents are up to date and sign the privacy waiver. And to me, the notion itself is a little bit surreal, right? Considering I'm not going as a typical American citizen who's been convicted of a crime, like drugs or something like that. And this was an activity that was sanctioned right all the way up to the National Security Council.
So why do you, presumably President Obama could get on the phone and say, we have military installations in Italy. We do a lot of business with Italy. You may not do this. How's that sound? Has he done anything like that you're aware of?
No, I'm not aware of anything like that. And I think one thing, Tucker, is that this entire fallout from this entire rendition has been handled by the CIA completely. The CIA has decided what goes to Congress, what Congress is told, what they're not told, who gets a pardon, who doesn't, etc. So, I don't know how much the president could have weighed in if the director, Brennan, for example, said, well, this is the way we're going to proceed with this particular case or the whole case itself. And I think a large part of this as well is because of the Italian intelligence services. So many of them were convicted. In fact, one of them is the chief of the Italian intelligence service. And this is kind of also quite outrageous for the Italians to have the chief resign, be convicted over an ill-conceived operation that had little intelligence value.
Yes. You must feel betrayed. I feel betrayed as an American just watching you. What do you hope that the newly installed President Trump will do for you?
Well, I think I'm a little bit optimistic over there just because I've had a very strong advocate in Congressman Pete Hoekstra. And I think one of the things that President-elect Trump or the administration can do is really make sure that we stop this precedent of U.S. diplomats, U.S. military and intelligence officers being convicted by foreign courts. This case requires a proper investigation and accountability, and that needs to take place in Washington, not in a foreign court. So I'm hoping this is one thing that the new administration does look into.
If the U.S. government can't even defend its own CIA officers, then we're lost. Sabrina, good luck. I know you're possibly on your way to jail in a few hours. We're going to stay on your story. Good luck to you. Godspeed.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Tucker, for the opportunity.
Thank you. Well, according to a Pew survey, atheism has surged in this country in popularity over the past 8 years during Barack Obama's presidency. In 2007, for example, 16% of Americans identified as atheist, agnostic, or otherwise unattached to a church. Well, today, 23% identify as such. It's a big change. Of course, just because America is less churched doesn't make it less religious. The religious impulse is innate. It's in all of us. We're born with it, and it will find an outlet somehow. It always does. And that may explain our increasingly turbulent politics. We have Bernie Sanders instead of baptisms, abortion instead of absolution, Trump instead of the Trinity. Some of us may no longer go with God, but we're happy to say, I'm with her instead. That might explain it. Well, up ahead, we bring you something brand new. Lindsay Lohan, ladies and gentlemen, may have cast her lot with a new religion. She's not an atheist, apparently. And then Brett Baer, live and in person in the Friend Zone.
We ask that cast members be Christians. I am one. What if you drop a single spot on me?
That is not what Jesus was about.
Really? Isn't this why we do what we do? I don't know how this thing with God works, but I like what it does.
Gavin Stone, rated PG.
Ace is a place with the helpful hardware, folks.
LED, halogen, watts, lumens. I just need some light bulbs.
Light bulbs don't have to be confusing. We have all the answers and a huge selection.
The right bulbs are right in your neighborhood, like LEDs that last up to 10 years and offer 80% energy savings. Right now, during our best bulb sale of the season, get a 4-pack of 40 or 60 watt equivalent LEDs for just $6.99. That's less than $2 per bulb. Only at Ace, the place recognized by J.D. Power 10 years in a row.
It's not just a car, it's your daily retreat. Go ahead, spoil yourself. The ES&DS Hybrid. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Time to get serious about weight loss?
I was at a point where I was willing to give it my all, to commit.
I've tried the gimmicky diets, I've tried doing it alone, and I finally got serious, and I joined Jenny Craig.
Lose 3 times more weight than dieting on your own with the research-proven help of a dedicated consultant.
I needed that support. I needed somebody to take care of me.
Call Jenny Craig now and lose 20 pounds for $20. Enjoy more than 100 ready-to-go premium meals and snacks. Call now to get $50 in free food. Plus, get free shipping or pickup. You can even meet with your consultant right over the phone.
This program is amazing. It's different than anything that I've ever done. You got me to where I needed to be, and you have kept me here.
Call 1-800-81-JENNY and lose 20 pounds for $20. Plus, get $50 in free food. Hurry, this offer won't last long.
Obamacare, immigration, security. Inside Trump's plans for his first day as president. Newt Gingrich has powerful insight tonight on Hannity.
At Southern New Hampshire University, we're committed to your success. That's why we hit the road again, to meet some of the 50,000 students who study online with us, to hear their stories, to celebrate their success. And with over 200 programs online and on campus designed to fit your life, there's never been a better time to see yourself succeed. Find your program today at snhu.edu.
Hi, I'm Joan London. When I needed to find senior care for my mom, I really struggled to find the right fit until I found a senior living advisor to help me, someone who'd been through this before. My advisor explained my options and helped me understand what my mom really needed. That's why I recommend A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. A Place for Mom is a free service that has helped over 200,000 families find the right senior care for their moms or dads, from independent living to assisted living, even Alzheimer's care. And they have local advisors that can explain your options at no cost to you. Believe me, I know, I've been there. Finding senior care can be tough, but now there's a place for answers. A Place for Mom.
If you're struggling to find reliable senior living information for your mom or dad, then call now or go online to get all the free help you need. Call 1-800-610-0185. 1-800-610-0185.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran, and I work with successful entrepreneurs every day. Success in business takes three things: a great vision, perseverance, and capital. The first two are up to you, but when it comes to capital, OnDeck is the small business loan expert. OnDeck can get you the funding you need to seize an opportunity and take your business to the next level. If you have the vision, OnDeck has the funding. To find out how much you qualify for, go to OnDeckTV.com today.
Time now for the happy, non-confrontational part of the show, the Friend Zone. We invite one of our friends from within the building here at Fox onto the show. Tonight we're joined by an actual friend, Fox News chief political anchor Bret Baier, host of Special Report. He's also going to be hosting our coverage of the inauguration from start to finish for like 27 hours in a row. How long are you going to be on the set?
11 to 5 with Martha MacCallum, which is great. We're going to have fun. We are positioned well, right on the mall, looking up at the Capitol. And we'll have.
Can you get up during that time? I've always wondered.
I hope so.
That's a long time. Aren't you worried that you're going to lose focus? I could not stay focused for 6 hours.
No, listen, election night prepares you for that long stint. And, I think you have a break every now and then, but got the Fox News catheter? No, I'm just kidding.
You're going to need it.
It's going to be great coverage, though. It's going to be so much to focus on, let alone the magnitude of the moment.
Yes.
I mean, the fact that we are at this point, from the escalator down in July of 2015
yes.
in Trump Tower to the first debate in August in Cleveland, and that 26 million people that tuned in, and then along the way that we would ever get to this moment. And now the country has chosen, and the 45th President of the United States is going to put his hand on that Bible and give a speech that I think a lot of people are going to be paying attention to.
It is a different country from the one it was even a year and a half ago. I hate even to say this out loud, but it's on the minds of everyone of us who lives in the District of Columbia. Are you concerned about disorder at all?
Yeah. I mean, I think there will be a significant protest element, and perhaps it's more this time than last or recent memory. I think security is prepared. I think they've been doing tests, Secret Service, Homeland Security. There's even National Guardsmen that will be on the streets. But it'll be significant, and you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what you don't know. They're preparing for a lot of different possibilities, and I think there's going to be some efforts to disrupt not only the moment and the speech, but probably the balls afterwards.
Yeah, we'll be at one of those. You're anchoring with Martha MacCallum.
Yeah, who had a great inaugural run.
Of course she did.
Who thought
you
she
can't
wouldn't?
Find a person who doesn't love Martha MacCallum.
That's
she is
true.
just the best. Have you anchored with her before?
I have. In fact, we anchored one of the primary nights together, and she's just fantastic. I mean, she's just a real pro and knows a ton every day, alongside Bill, and now with 100 Days, which is really a great show. I mean, I watched the inaugural run tonight.
I sat in my office. So what do you do to prepare for 6 hours live on TV?
Well, you look at a lot of, we have the brain room here that produces this huge binder of information that that is very helpful as far as stats and figures and info, but you really I think about big moments in history. And I'm going to be looking really at that speech. We're hearing that the president-elect has a very active role in the forming of this speech and maybe even writing a big portion of it. We'll see how that develops. Hope to hear more about what's going to be in there. But the message is going to be one, I think, of unity. In the midst of all of this Twitter back and forth and everything we're hearing about who's not showing up, I think there will be a coming together message that he's going to try to get through.
You just wrote a book on Eisenhower. It just came out. You're doing a reading this weekend in Washington, I think. Did Eisenhower write his own stuff?
He did. He was an amazing writer and editor. You know, he was often criticized in the press for being kind of halting in his answers at news conferences. He was, by the way, the first president to put a news conference live on air. He's the first one that put transcripts from news conferences into the record. Before that, reporters could ask questions, but they could never quote a president directly. But he did write speeches, and he worked on that final farewell address for almost 2 years, 21 drafts.
It was worth it because people still quote it.
They do.
To this day. Bret Baier, on the set, drinking no liquids all morning. As you cover the inauguration. We'll see you Friday. Thank you, Brad.
I like this friend zone.
It's nice, man. No hard
nice.
questions. This is the easy part of the quiz.
Thank you,
Great to see you. Coming up, we bring you something for those of you who love celebrity gossip, something we don't have a lot of on this show. This is actually worth it, so stay tuned.
Friend of yours? That's frequent heartburn. It's always lurking around. But I'm safe. I took my Prevacid 24-hour today. I didn't.
One pill prevents the acid that causes heartburn all day, all night. Prevacid 24-hour.
I need to promote my new business and do it on budget.
I can make that happen.
Business cards?
Business cards, brochures, banners.
Pens?
Pens, magnets, luggage tags, bumper stickers.
How about foam fingers like these?
Now get 15% off making your company stand out. Staples. Make more happen.
Boost. It's about moving forward, not back. It's looking up, not down. It's feeling up, thinking up, living up. It's being in motion, in body, in spirit, in the now. Boost. It's not just nutrition, it's intelligent nutrition with 26 vitamins and minerals and 10 grams of protein, all in 3 delicious flavors. It's choosing to go in one direction, up. Boost. Be up for it.
In 2016, M made history as the most dominant family in golf, with the most wins on tour, an Olympic victory,
gold medalist in golf at the Olympics,
and the PGA Player of the Year.
Johnson will win the U.S. Open.
But that was last year. The all-new M family is coming to make the best even better.
Hey, I'm thinking about switching my car insurance. Who do you have?
I really have to call Amica. If you ask around, pretty soon you'll learn there are auto insurance customers and then there are Amica customers.
Do some research and you'll be impressed.
This is it. I'm calling Amica for a quote.
Good rate?
Good everything. We make it easy to save money, too, with our long list of auto insurance discounts. Get your free quote now. Welcome to Amica. This is helpfulness. Insured.
Are you getting the most out of your water?
I've been using Brita for years. It has a 2-stage filter.
My Zero Water has a patented 5-stage filter.
This meter proves that Brita removes over half the dissolved solids.
Zero Water removes virtually all dissolved solids for an all-zero reading. And the purest tasting water.
Get more out of your water. And unlike Brita, Zero Water is certified to reduce heavy metals like lead and chromium.
12 blades, 11.5 moisture strips. It's the best shave that will ever be possible.
Didn't you guys say that about the last one?
No, that one only had 11 moisture strips. Primitive. And next-gen breakthroughs, like this laser chin detection system, don't come cheap. Let me look into financing options for you.
Hey, man, you don't need to pay for all that to get a great shave when you can ride up on this for just a few bucks.
Try our best razor for $1 with free shipping at DollarShaveClub.com.
That's me. Then, out of nowhere, crying. 3rd time that day. I wasn't even sad. First the stroke, now this. So we asked my doctor, He told us about pseudobulbar affect, or PBA. It's frequent, uncontrollable crying or laughing that doesn't match how you feel. It can happen with certain neurologic conditions like stroke, dementia, or MS. He prescribed Nuedexta, the only FDA-approved treatment for PBA.
Tell your doctor about medicines you take. Some can't be taken with Nuedexta. Nuedexta is not for people with certain heart conditions. Serious side effects may occur. Life-threatening allergic reactions to quinidine can happen. Tell your doctor right away if you have bleeding or bruising. Stop Nuedexta if muscle twitching, confusion, fever, or shivering occurs with antidepressants. Side effects may include diarrhea, dizziness, cough, vomiting, weakness, or ankle swelling.
Nuedexta made a difference by reducing my PBA episodes. Ask about Nuedexta and go to Nuedexta.com.
Well, here's something new. Tabloid star Lindsay Lohan may be famous